welcome back to the channel. Today is a wintry day. As you can see outside, it is snowing, and we are onto a different little project here. We finally got a 8-blade fan for the center of the house, and that's where we'll be working, is on the ladder up at the very peak of the roof. It's a place I really don't like, but it is one of the last big ladder projects that we have in the house. So we're going to get busy hanging the ceiling fan in here, and that should be a really cool addition. Anyway, let's get started. We got this fan off of Amazon. We got it for around $450. It's a pretty inexpensive fan as far as large fans go. We've looked at a bunch of other places and they were ultra expensive. So hopefully this one will turn out to be as nice as we hope it is. I don't know. We'll see. We'll start reading the instructions and figuring out what we need to do here. All right, there you go. We got all of our parts laid out for this fan. Like I said, there's the blades, the motor, and all the accessory parts that put this thing together. So we will get started and get this up on the ceiling. All right, so the first thing I have to attach is this locking mechanism, and what this will do is it will hold the actual extension for the fan and the fan itself. So this is the main support bracket, and this goes at the peak of the roof, so we'll get that up there. Well, I managed to get the mounting bracket up there. I really don't like being at the top of that ladder and working at that height. It really kind of starts to give me vertigo, especially when it feels like you're leaning back. So working at the top of this ladder is not my strong suit, but we're making progress. Looks like some of the work here is going to be done on the bench, putting the motor and some of that all together. So we'll get busy with that, and then we'll return back up there. We still got to cut and trim our main electrical wire and fit some other components up there before we actually hang the fan. All right, so if I've got this straight, so this is the extension. This part right here clips into the motor, the pin. So we'll set that aside. But the first thing we've got to do is we've got to add the shroud covering that will go up against the motor. Across that. Then this canopy cover ring, that's got to go on next. And then this piece here is the cap for the top of the fan. And then we can actually connect the fan on here. But first we've got to run some wires. We've got to loosen up this insert screw here that locks it all in. And then we'll get this run through here, we'll get the wires run through the not sure. There's a safety cable here that I've got to try and figure out how to go. It's supposed to go up on the wall, but I'm not sure. It's supposed to go into the ceiling, so I'm not sure exactly how to pull this off, but we'll figure it out here. It's going to be a little tricky to put up on the ceiling, that's for sure. So we'll run the wires through the extension tube, and then we'll get this connected to the motor. cap off too to get this done. Alright, so we got our guide wire and our main wire through there. Connect this to our motor. Oh, we got another screw there. Alright, so now we're going to get this pin back through here. We got the main shaft in there, we got the wiring for that done, we got the cable for the securing to the ceiling, so we got to figure that out. This cap goes over all that, and then these two things make up the top part of the, once we get it up there. That's going to be a little tricky, but we'll worry about that when we get it up there. All right, now we've got this main assembly in place, so we got to lift it up and put it into the bracket that we just installed, and then we'll start working on securing everything down, and then we'll work on the electrical components because this has to go in there as well. This is what wires to the house, and this is the fan controller itself. So we'll get this put up there, and then we'll go from there. All right, so now I got that all wired in and ready to go. That was a little sketchy, but it was good to go. Everything wired in correctly. Now we got to get the shrouds on and button that up there so it looks a little cleaner. We may have to paint around the electrical box, but I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see what that looks like when it's finally assembled. Well, let's go ahead and get the shrouds on. All right, before I wire this thing in, I've got to put this goes into the ceiling and then the safety cable runs through it. And so I'm going to put the safety cable in first and then we'll get to the wiring of this device. All right, well, now we've got our safety cable in. We've got that attached up there. Now we got to wire in this. This is the controller for the fan. These wires here wire up directly to the power that I ran last year for the ceiling fan. And then this slides up into the bracket up above. And then on the opposite side, the actual fan motor connects to here. And then we can actually start putting on the shrouds and all that other stuff, which will be a little bit tricky, but we're going to try and get this wired in and see what happens there. All right, well, we've got this monster assembled. It was easy to do on the ground compared to up there. Now we just got to see if we can lift it and get it up into place. All right, now that we've got the main motor and everything assembled and up in the ceiling, now we'll start working on blade assembly. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to assemble the blades up on the ladder, which I'm hoping not. I'm hoping I can assemble everything on the ground and then lift everything up to it. So I'll look at that and we'll get started here. Well, since we're actually into reading directions, on the bottom of that fan, there is some shipping screws and brackets that have to come off before we actually install the fan blade assembly piece up there. And then there is a timing mark on it that has to be lined up on the base of that as well. So we'll get all those screws out and get all that prepped up so we can get this piece installed, and we'll see about our fan blades as well.
right, we got those out, and now we'll get our fan blade assembly up there and get it prepped up for our blades. Concerns about is doing the blades up there. All right, well, I got the hub for the fan blades up there and secured. Now I gotta get the fan blades up there. That's gonna be a little slow process, but it seems pretty straightforward. It seems pretty straightforward anyway, we shall see. But we've got the fan blades themselves. I mean, it's got pretty good directions to this side up, so it can't be that hard to figure out how to do that. But the fan blade goes on to the spindle that's up there, and then this part right here goes underneath. To secure this part here goes underneath the fan blade, just like that, and then they're screwed in. So we're gonna try it up there, and if that becomes too much, then what I may do is I may pull that spindle down and do everything on the ground and then try and retrofit that thing back up there. But let's go ahead and get the fan blade installed and see how we roll here. All right, well, I got one blade up, and that wasn't too bad. It's just a little bit awkward to kind of work with there. As I start to fill that in, that'll get a little bit dicier until we get to the last one, and we'll just have to see about how we get that one up there. I just think it would be easier to do them up there than try and lift that whole thing, because it'll be pretty heavy, and then trying to balance it and put the screws in would be a little bit too much. So we'll get busy finishing off, putting in the rest of the fan blades.
All right, well, that's proven kind of difficult to get those blades up there and hold them and try and get all that done. So I'm gonna take that spindle down, I'm gonna complete everything on here on the ground, and I'm gonna try and lift everything up onto that. We'll see what happens, but we're gonna try and do that anyway. And there you got it, we got it up there. That was easier to do it that way than try and do the blades up there. Now the last piece we have to do is we have to put on the base plate on the bottom. This just screws in and we'll be good to go. All right, now we've got it assembled, now let's test it. All right, so we've got the power on to that now. As you can see, our center house lights are on. We'll come over here and turn this bad boy on. And what I found with this is that it needs a remote to start. If I could actually work the remote, there we go. Turn this thing on, and then select our speed. And there we have it. We have our fan going, and I'm pretty pleased with that, so it's pretty cool. And there you have it. We got our main ceiling fan in, and that's pretty cool all the way around. I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, if you like this type of thing, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button, and make sure you leave some comments. I definitely love hearing from everybody. And until next time, thanks for watching.